The member states of the OECS that are party to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change were among the first to ratify the historic Paris Agreement. In so doing, they further demonstrated the leadership that small island developing states have displayed from the very birth of the international climate change negotiation process almost 3 decades ago. Significantly, even though we ratified the agreement, member states were already looking to fulfill the commitments inscribed in their respective nationally determined contributions, the NDCs, which they see as their contribution to the international climate change effort, despite the minuscule share in the global greenhouse budget. The OECS Commission from very early recognized the importance of NDC implementation and committed to supporting member states in their endeavors in any way possible. In 2017, the Fourth Council of Ministers on Environmental Sustainability endorsed the Commission's efforts to support NDC implementation in the region. One of the trademarks of the OECS is functional cooperation, which is working together in practical ways to deliver actual benefits to the member states and to the people of the OECS. Therefore, even while the OECS Commission was looking to support NDC implementation at the individual country level, consideration was also being given as to how to foster meaningful regional cooperation on NDC implementation. Somewhere in the early months of 2017, a conversation took place between the OECS Commission and counterparts at Climate Analytics regarding the feasibility of a regionally determined contribution, RDC. This out-of-the-box conversation led to the formulation of a proposal for the Eastern Caribbean Regional Climate Change Implementation Project. The project eventually became a reality through the generous support of Foreign and Commonwealth Office, thus laying the foundation for the world's first and still only regionally determined contribution. Although a number of setbacks, including the passage of the disastrous hurricanes of 2017, affected the timeline, the project was competently and successfully executed by the Carbon Trust and Climate Analytics in collaboration with the Commission and with the kind cooperation of member states. While time and resources do not allow an in-depth assessment of all sectors covered in the NDCs, the focus on the transport and water sectors, respectively, was both fitting and timely. From the mitigation standpoint, the transport sector, despite being the largest end user of fossil fuels in many OECS member states, is a problematic one, as among others it is difficult to manage the behaviors of several thousand individual emitters. Further, there are still relatively few success stories or lessons coming from island nations. I think that limitation, in fact, presents us with a great opportunity to open conversations with minibus drivers associations across the OECS, together with governments of the region, to look at how we can perhaps help those small transport owners to make that shift from fossil fuel vehicles to perhaps electric transportation. Water, as they say, is life, and this sector also features prominently in all of the OECS NDCs, and I'm happy to see Mr. Noville of WASCO, who has been on loan from the OECS to WASCO. Given the projected impacts of climate on water supply in the region, adaptation in this sector will be critical to its future development. The findings of this report provide member states with the basis to realize efficiencies and economies of scale by adopting a unified approach to addressing climate change in the water and energy sectors. It offers similar advantages to development partners and potential investors. It is worth noting also that the report considers the needs and climate change priorities of the UK overseas territories that are part of the OECS. And I want to emphasize this point also because too often in our mobilization of resource efforts at the OECS, we often run into a roadblock where multilateral agencies say to us that the UK territories who are associate members of the OECS are not eligible to participate in projects. So The participation of the UK in this project is hugely significant for us because it means that for once they will not be left out. Good documents have no place on a shelf. Unfortunately, that's too often the case. And we at the OECS, even before the report was completed, began to contemplate the next steps. Already we are looking to incorporate the recommendations from this report into a major initiative that we are co-piloting, known as the NDC Finance Initiative. This initiative seeks to leverage the resources needed to accelerate NDC and NDC-related action in the region. We take this opportunity to invite the UK government and others to join the NDC-FI, and ahead of the formal launch, we will be happy to provide you with further details. We believe that having laid the foundation, there is more work to be done in building out a fuller regional determined contribution. And again, we invite the FCO and other partners to consider supporting the work on additional sectors as well as on building a pipeline of projects emanating from the current and future work. I also want to add at this point too that we at the OECS have been spearheading the effort to design a Caribbean framework for resilience that is going to be part of the main document for consideration with the Coalition for a Climate Smart Caribbean, with persons like Sir Richard Branson, Bill Gates, and so on. So all of this begins to come together in a very integrated and holistic way. In closing, I wish to thank the UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office, the Carbon Trust, Climate Analytics, the member states, and all involved in the execution of the Eastern Caribbean Regional Climate Change Implementation Project in the production of the final report. Thank you.